Okay. So you guys are wondering why I am a little upset this morning. Well, let me tell you what happened on literally just my drive-in, okay? Let me tell you how my drive-in went. YouTube, all y'all listen to this. You think you're having a rough morning. Well, let me relate to you a little bit. This is what happened on my drive-in. So we have a Suburban that we use as a work vehicle. Well, Cornbread burned the transmission slam up in it. He literally drove it home from Columbia, South Carolina, parked it in my driveway.
And it was fine at that time.
Parked it in my driveway. I go out to get in the vehicle a few days later to drive it, and it won't even go into gear. I crank it up, and a big old puff of smoke comes out of it, and the transmission's saying, clogged with flies. And so I haul it into the dealership to have a new transmission put in it.
Well, no, you try to drive it, right?
Well, yeah, I tried to drive it. That didn't work. So then I had it towed to the dealership. And Corn still hadn't apologized for burning that transmission up in that truck.
Hold up. You drove it from Blake's house back to your house. We don't know what you got into on the way there.
Did that really happen?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess I did.
Now,
dang.
What'd you do? He probably drove it home in first gear. He was so tired and sleepy. He drove it home in first gear.
Well, it's a shame Cornbread has such good memory because I did forget that I did drive it home from Blake's to my house. So, all right, so Corn's off the hook for that. Well, when we purchased that vehicle, we purchased a extended warranty with it too. So the dealership can't get a hold of the people at the warranty company to make a claim. You call the claims department, and it just is an endless on hold.
Well, they call me all the time.
Well, so today I said, okay, well, I'm going to take matters into my own hands because guess what? If you want anything done, you are going to have to take matters into your own hands, period. That's just your only option. If you want to get anything done, just go on ahead and assume you're going to have to do it yourself. And if you hire somebody else to do it, it'll probably be more work for you to manage the person that you hired to do it than if you would have just ultimately did it yourself. I ought to just go get me a new transmission and just put the stinking transmission in the truck myself. That's what I ought to do.
Well, something will go wrong if you don't.
So the dealership can't get a hold of the warranty company. Well, this morning I said, I'm going to take matters into my own hands. So I called the claims department at the warranty company, which I did yesterday anyways already, Blake.
Yeah.
Well, I called them again this morning, and finally somebody picked up with the warranty company. And I said, hold on just a minute, buddy. I'm about to cut my mechanic in on this call so they can get this claim started. So I three-way the mechanic in on this call. I had sat on hold for over 10 minutes before someone from the warranty company finally picked up. I three-way the mechanic in. The mechanic answers the phone, and the call drops. So that was the start of my morning.
You mean he hung up?
No.
That's what happened. The guy hung up.
Well, either the call dropped or somebody hung up or something. But no, but the phone just went beep, beep, beep. And there was nobody on the phone no more. Not from no parties were on the line anymore. And I said, well, all right then. Well, then I'm sitting at the fuel station pumping gas while I'm doing that because I drive a Land Cruiser, and you got to get gas every time you pass a fuel station when you drive a Land Cruiser. And this call drops. Well, then the FedEx guy walks up to me because he's also at the fuel station getting gas. The FedEx guy walks up to me and proceeds to talk my freaking ear off about how I shouldn't be mean about this guy. He was a nice guy. I just wasn't in the mood to talk. But he proceeds to talk to me about how he watches our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching, FedEx Man. If you're watching this, I appreciate you being a viewer here. But I was not in the mood to talk to anybody about, the YouTube channel. All right, okay. So I finally get out of the fuel station. I go down here to Lumina Coffee. Lumina Coffee is a coffee shop here in Rome. And I go in there and order me a daggone coffee, and it's just dragging on, man. Well, I get my coffee, I get over here to the office, and I take a sip of this coffee, and it tastes like literal freaking baby piss. I'm
Wowza.
That's what them politicians drink.
I'm assuming they sweeten this with Splenda or something. They have put something in it that I did not tell them to put in it. And I might drink it, but it tastes terrible. It is terrible.
I bet it tastes worse than that McDonald's and QT coffee Corn got on the way.
Yeah.
If I drink this, it's just simply because I want to pour some warm liquid down my throat.
Well, you did your Hoist coffee combo too, so
I don't even think Hoist can cover up the
don't
taste
think?
of that coffee. No, it's terrible. It's terrible. So my now my coffee's messed up, and that's how that's just what's been going on in the life of Chad.
Well,
This morning.
let me just.
But it's all right.
Let me just remind
because from the 7 walls of the Vatican, he's back in the house, dropping doves from the ceiling like it's a hot Pope chili. The Pope has come around. He's in Rome, Georgia. He's cleaning up after the sinfulness of Donald Trump, coming up in here with a rally, dropping Marjorie Taylor Greene on her head like a drop of rocks. Donald Trump left 10 demons up in here. Pope Chili's back in the house with his scepter, cleaning up the town. Pope Chili. Welcome back to the show, Pope Chili.
I feel like crushing my own head after that.
So what's been going on in the Vatican, Pope?
You mentioned it. Donald Trump has left a wake of sin and debauchery all over this country. Rome.
It ain't funny.
You're going to have to bring this back. Like,
It ain't funny.
Carry on. Continue, Pope.
You know,
You know.
it ain't funny.
Yeah. Y'all know. Golly. So the walls of the Vatican East is what I'm getting at, are dirty on account of Donald Trump.
He left a wake of demons.
Yeah, those hitchhiking kind. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So I've went around this unit here and blessed all 4 corners. That's pretty much all there is to it.
What about Marjorie Taylor Greene? Is she in on this too? Because I see Marjorie Taylor Greene walking up to the Trump rally. It seems like every meeting she attends, she's confused. She acts like she's at a beauty pageant. She walks into this place, in her high heels, and she's doing this number. Look at her on any video you see her. That's what she's doing. What are you at, a freaking beauty pageant? A freaking beauty pageant, you idiot!
Pageant.
You're a freaking public servant, man. What do you think? You're famous? You think you're at a daggone beauty pageant? Start acting like a stinking adult, man. Why don't you get up in front of people and address them like your daggone fellow countrymen and like you have a stinking job to do instead of just running your daggone suck and trying to stir the freaking pot every time and never doing nothing, Marjorie Taylor Greene. What do you do, follow freaking Donald Trump around? Wash his feet for him? The crap is wrong with this woman? What the crap is wrong with her for real, man?
Look,
you'll see all
car
these
warranties, people talking to him and he takes it all out on Marjorie Taylor Greene. Greene at her pageant.
And she's pathetic. Marjorie Taylor Greene is pathetic. You're a public freaking servant, man. You're not in a freaking beauty pageant. Walking up in here like people want to freaking wave at you. You idiot.
Man.
I'm sick of these stinking politicians, man. They're pieces of crap, dude. They're all freaking confused about what the crap their job is. You're not a freaking famous person. You're not a daggone Instagram personality. You're a daggone stinking scum of the earth politician. You're the lowest common denominator of all society. At least that's what you act like. Freaking following around a freaking orange man.
Well,
freaking idiots, man.
that's why I'm here.
Thank goodness you're here,
Well,
Pope.
let me just tell you, I got to tell you, old little Virgil, he doesn't come in at $4.99. Some
Virgil's back.
rent collector said, "Little Virgil, get that credit card out." He said, "You can't buy my love. Charge that."
Little Virgil's back in the house.
So if you've seen Marjorie Taylor Greene riding up the road, riding one of her horses, she's big in the horse business. And she waved at you like when we was on the bike ride. If we was to pass her and she's like, "Hey, Chad," you wouldn't have been like, "What up, Margie?"
No. I would say, what the crap are you doing out here riding a horse? You got other crap to do. All you do is follow around your little orange man.
Fair enough.
Worthless piece of crap. She's more than welcome to come on the podcast, by the way.
I'm sure everything you just said will attract her to it.
Yeah, she's more than welcome to come on the podcast.
That's a heck of an invitation.
Yeah, come on. Come on, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I live here in Rome. You're from Rome. Come on in here. Come on up in here. You're freaking good night, man. Anybody, what's up? What's going on around here?
Well, I think you need to come to confession for all this complaining you did on the front end of this show.
You gonna set your box up?
Yeah. What are you whining about, man? Your coffee's bad. Come on, man.
You don't understand, man. When you like coffee, you don't understand what it does to you when somebody messes your coffee up.
They must be doing something right, because when I come through here this morning, that place was packed out. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about packed out.
Yeah, they're serving up all these sugary drinks, man. Yeah, that's what's going on.
You passed that fire truck on the way in here, man. Somebody's having a
I will
worse
tell
day.
you what. No, that fire truck ticked me off.
I figured
That idiot stopped in the dead center of the daggone lane.
he did.
Like, dude, you can't move over a little bit? Move over. There's pedestrians coming through here. You think because you drive a fire truck, you can just do what the crap you want? I'm a taxpayer. Get out of my stinking road, man. My freaking taxes pay for this stuff.
If they squeeze too close to them other cars, they can't open their doors to get their stuff
Oh, no,
out.
he had plenty of room.
Easy.
The Rome
You're
Fire...
in too much of a hurry, man.
The Rome Fire Department is going to hear from me today.
Easy, Hobart. Let's calm down.
Hey, you don't matter, man.
No, I don't. No.
Sorry, General.
Yeah. They call me General because I was in the Navy for a while.
No, it wasn't.
He wasn't in the Navy.
Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the 307 podcast. We're glad you're here. We got the Pope in the house. That's a little recap of my day. Which leads us into a great question from Patreon. Did you see that question that Noah Stagg asked? Cornbread?
I actually did see
Pull
that.
that question up. Noah Stagg just sent in a question on Patreon. It goes right along with what we're talking about.
I was going to bring that up too.
Yeah. You
Good
should have had that.
question.
You should have had that ready, Cornbread. I ask you every week if you have a Patreon question.
No, you don't.
You know they have that.
No, you don't. There's still 2 or 3 that you ain't even answered yet.
Man, you're on one
Off
today.
air.
Hobart.
Yeah. All right, you want me to read it?
This is a good question. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. If you end up answering the question on the podcast in terms of controlling your rudder, how do you reckon with saying doing outstanding when it actually isn't the truth? Would it be better to full-blown aggressively honest or lie, or for the sake of staying positive?
It's a good question, Noah Stagg. Now, see, the reason that I started this podcast off the way I did was to teach y'all a lesson. All right? See, a lot of times y'all think I come on here and things I do are just joking around. And look, everything I do is calculated. A wizard is never late. He arrives precisely when he means to. Okay? He's never late. He's never early. He arrives precisely when he means to. Everything that I do is for your benefit, listener, viewer, because I care about you. All right? I started this show off like I did so that now y'all have an example of what it's like not to control your rudder. All right? I just made my day worse. But I did it for your sake. That's how much I freaking care about you, man. I just made my whole day worse for your sake. My day is shot. It didn't have to be that way. It didn't have to be that way. But I care enough about you to show you an example of what not to do, and I'll suffer for it. That's why you need to put a super chat in right now.
Come on, Hobart.
So there's an example I gave you an example this morning of what it looks like to not control your rudder. All right? I'm going to pay for that. This day for me is going to be rough. When I leave here, it's going to be rough. Okay? Now, I could have chose to come in here this morning, and even though all that bad stuff happened, I could have came in here this morning and chose to not talk about it and to find something good to talk about. Like Chili said, old boy done around here got the fire truck caught up on him. He's might be dead right now. Well, I ain't dead yet. I can find something good to talk about. I could have done that this morning. And guess what? I would have had a better day today. So look here, man. When you are in the thick of it and mess is rough, whether you're having a rough day like I'm having, or whether you're out on a rite of passage mission or a basic course with us, or whether you're out running a 250-mile race and crap is done got rough, look, the point is don't freaking talk about it because it don't matter. You've got to get through it. It don't matter. You got to get, what other choice you have? You going to quit? Well, a lot of y'all might, but I ain't going to. So don't talk about it, man. And find something good to talk about. And if you can't, if you're so daggone beat down that you can't even find nothing good to talk about, just make something up. Like I feel outstanding. Just make it up. Just say it. It's going to help you out. gonna help you out. All right? I done told y'all this crap, man. People get pissed at me when I do this. I remember I was out running the Cocodona 250. I was come into an aid station late at night. One of them y'all wasn't at, you know? And there was a bunch of daggone dweebs in there moaning and complaining and whining about how cold it was and how tired they were and all this crap. And I tried to tell these jokers, I said, man, y'all might want to, quit talking about all that crap or just go ahead and quit, whatever you want to do. They got mad at me. They said, oh, no, we would rather just be honest about what we're feeling right now. I said, all right, y'all go on, keep on doing that. Let me know how it works out for you. It don't work out for you, ever. So sometimes the crap sucks so bad that you might have to make something up that ain't really how you're feeling. But that's up to you. That's the way I do it. And it works for me. Keeps me rolling. And eventually, it allows me to dig myself out of whatever stinking hole I'm in. But I made a huge sacrifice for y'all on the show today. So, I daggone care about you, man. Tried to tell y'all about this stuff. You don't ever daggone listen to me. You just think I'm some stinking internet head, man. Y'all are confused. Yeah, I'll tell you what, y'all keep ticking me off. All of you guys watching this show, you keep ticking me off. I'm gonna come at you next. You don't want that to happen. Y'all know how poopy pants you get when I come at you. So you better watch it.
I got a addition, if you don't mind, to maybe some clarification to that question from Noah.
Pope, you don't have to ask me to do anything.
Because I think
you're the Pope, man.
I think that's a good question. I think some people have trouble, too, differentiating how that may look different when you're in the middle of a 250-mile race versus everyday life. And basically what you're saying is, yeah, Noah, yeah, every listener who's curious about this, when you're in a 100-mile race, what have you, you need to keep your mouth shut about things and or speak out, like you said, I feel outstanding, or whatever that may be. But I think people get confused with that, kind of like we've talked about before with don't give your pain a voice and suffer in silence and explaining some of those. People don't know the difference maybe on how it looks in the middle of a 100-mile race of like, okay, yeah, I need to keep my mouth shut and do this versus everyday life with some big life event that's potentially stealing years from their life and stifling anything that they maybe could do. Yeah, that's going to look a little different, I think, right? So at what point does it change in maybe an everyday life situation that you go, okay, I need to talk about this or get some help with this? Because it's not a 100-mile race, right? It's not an isolated event where you just go, yeah, I'm not going to quit that. I got to go through it with this way. What's the difference there?
Well, in a race or in your whatever you're going through in your life, if you have a legitimate issue that you're because here's the thing, most of the things you complain about aren't legitimate.
That's the difference. Yep.
That's the difference. Most of the crap that you're complaining about, it ain't freaking legitimate. It don't matter. If you have something in whatever you're doing, if you have a legitimate issue, then you need to talk to your team about it for the sake of trying to find a solution. So if there's a legitimate problem, I'm not telling you to don't talk about a legitimate problem you're having. Talk about it.
It's the difference in, oh man, it's cold. Oh, I hate the cold. It's getting cold out. I freaking hate the cold. And you come into an aid station and you're jackhammering so bad that you can barely talk, and you need to work through the solution on how to get warm.
Exactly.
You shouldn't ignore that and just say, "Oh no, I'm good."
Yeah.
No, you should be like, "I got to get warm." That's the difference, and that's how it applies differently in your everyday life, or even within the race. It's kind of the same, but
yeah. Yeah, when you're talking about whatever your problem is for the sake of finding a solution, then it's no longer considered complaining. Right? That's actually something that we all have to do. So, yeah, good point, Chili.
Hopefully that helps.
Yeah.
People always, I think, struggle with the real life application of some of those things because sometimes I don't know there's a lot of clarity to it, but that's a good differentiation.
Yeah. I didn't even get a chance to put on my Cardinal uniform this morning. That ticks me off too.
Well, it does me, but see, I'm more advanced than you, so I've kept that in.
Well, you've been having trouble with your deacon.
Oh.
Or, no,
Bishop.
your bishop. You've been having trouble with your bishops.
Yeah, he's completely unruly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He won't even wear his vestige.
No. Never has.
I don't even see it anymore.
Simply refuse. Oh, no, it's there.
It's still over
He
there?
simply
You might not
refuses.
see it.
Dereliction
soon.
of duty.
Derelict Pope.
Yeah.
You know.
So,
Where'd you get that Whopper crown?
Whopper what?
Crown.
What's a Whopper?
Bishop, you are interrupting the show, man. You interrupted the show, Bishop. Bishop, you have one job around here. It's to count the money. Okay?
I don't do it, man.
Look, anytime you start doing anything outside the boundaries
20,
of counting money,
40, 60, 80.
get out of
More.
here, man. You got to keep me and Pope Chili and gas and food. All right? So we can... Y'all heard... Hey, have y'all heard that new #1 hit on Spotify?
How's it go?
Me and Chili do it. Me and Chili do it. People got coronavirus. People got the heart trouble. People got the twisted ankle. People got all this stuff going on. Me and Chili do it. Me and Chili do it. We get on back here. We get on out there. Me and Chili do it. There ain't no twisted ankles round here. Me and Chili do it.
Holla.
Corn packed in mortars. Bishop count the money. Corn packed in mortars.
Gosh.
I like that second verse. We go here, we go there. Me and Chili do it.
Ain't no twisted ankles here. Got to put something about cramps in there, man.
That's a good point. Well, we can always add another stanza. But, yeah, that's the new #1 hit song.
That's coming out on Spotify.
Yeah, on Spotify. So
Summer.
y'all be waiting for that. You'll get the full version. Speaking of me and Chili do it,
Y'all did it.
we went out on a basic course this weekend. We're not running many basic courses this year, only 2. So it's a really kind of exclusive type of experience now. And it was legit, man. It was a legit basic course mission. I would say this was team 28, and out of 28 teams, this was definitely in the top 5 as far as the worst possible environmental conditions. So it rained. It started raining about midday on Friday. And once it started raining, I don't think it stopped raining for more than about 10 minutes. There were a few spells, maybe 3 spells of about 10 minutes where it didn't rain, but it continued to rain once it started Friday all the way to Saturday night. So every single gear item that wasn't properly waterproofed was sopping wet. Sopping wet. And we get up on top of a big ridge on Saturday night, well, Saturday evening, right before sunset, and the temperature just starts to plummet out of nowhere. I've been pretty warm all day, but the temperature just starts to fall. I mean, quick. And all of a sudden, one of the members of the team says, "Do y'all need to throw an extra layer on?" And we looked up, and Tin Man looked like a drowned rat. And he said, he looked back and he said, yeah, I need all my layers on. But he was soaked to the bone, Tin Man was. And I walked up to Tin Man. I said, Tin Man, did you just decide not to wear your rain gear? You know, it's been raining for the last day and a half. You just decide not to wear your rain gear? He said, well, I didn't intend to decide not to wear my rain gear. But his rain gear wasn't on.
Inadvertently.
Yeah. He intended to wear it. But didn't get around to it. But Tin Man wasn't the only one that was wet. Everybody was wet.
Oh, yeah.
When it rains for a day and a half, you can wear whatever rain gear you want to wear. And even if it's high dollar, top end rain gear, there's enough water that's going to come down through the neck and the collar of that rain gear that by the end of a 12-hour day in the pouring rain, you're going to be wet. I was wet. I was soaked, wasn't I, Chili? Up under that. I mean, I wasn't Tin Man soaked, but I was soaked.
There's different degrees.
I had ripped the entire crotch out of my rain pants.
Yeah.
So all that water was running right down into my groin, down into my legs and all.
You don't need to let your legs get wet out there.
Well, my top was wet too. And so we get up there and it gets sure enough cold. So what does the old bull do?
Provides.
He provides. The old bull provides. I built a fire in the rain. That's right. Because that's what I do. That was the hardest fire I've ever started, Blake.
Was it?
No, I'm telling you. No, get this through your head. I built a fire in the rain. Do you get what I'm telling you?
And by that point, it was rain that was getting you wet.
Yeah.
On Friday, it was.
You and Chili do it.
I built a fire out of wood that had been getting rained on for a day and a half, and I built it in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yeah, get that through your head. And
You pipe and smoke it.
got that fire going, and, you know, people started getting a little bit more warmed up. Tin Man, he was still bad cold. He was bad cold.
Oh, yeah.
And we ended up having to put him in a shelter for a rewarming drill, even though he also forgot his ground pad, and his sleeping bag was also soaking wet. He was in a real bind. We get up, we finally have our dinner and our evening meeting, and we all go off to bed after Chili and I both checked on Tin Man multiple times, and he said he was warming up.
Yeah.
He said he was. So, we weren't worried about him no more at that time. We put him 3 up in a shelter with 2 other teammates. They put him right there in the center, and Scott said he laid there and snored all night long.
That's what Scott said.
What he said. Scott said he didn't sleep 5 minutes that night.
Golly.
Scott came up to me on Saturday night, and he said, what do we need to do about Tin Man? He said, he's cold. I mean, he's cold.
Yeah. Well, you're going to need to hug him all night,
Yeah.
Scott, and stay up.
Scott stayed up and cared for him all night long.
Yeah, he did.
What a good teammate. We went on to bed, and I noticed about middle of the night, I'm in a 20-degree Feathered Friend sleeping bag, and about middle of the night, I realized I'm getting cold. And I had to cinch that top of that sleeping bag down tight to where there wasn't hardly no air getting up in that thing. About smothered myself. And we woke up the next morning, and everything was encased in ice. Everything. Boots, shelters. Everything was wet. So when the temperature dropped into the teens, all that moisture just froze. And I literally had to sit in my tent for 10 minutes with my jet boil stove in order to melt my boots enough to get my foot in my boot. That's how froze up everything was. But everybody made it through the night. And that last day, that team really pulled it together. And they crushed it on that last day. Man, they pulled it together. They covered a lot of miles on Sunday. Then they covered them well. They stayed locked on all the way to the very end. Other than when one of our teammates sprayed himself in the face with bear spray.
That was a blip.
Yeah, that was kind of the only hiccup that we had. Somebody had an accidental discharge of their bear spray and sprayed themselves in the face.
Well, that's all right.
Did they get the full effect? The watery eyes, the runny nose,
He got pretty snotty.
yeah.
It may not have been a full blast, but
The bear spray discharged, and then he walked like through the mist from it.
I got you.
So it wasn't a full on hit. But they flushed his eyes out, and he carried on.
oh yeah.
So other than that, they did real well. And y'all know me and Chili, we like it when our students give us gifts. It's a really kind gesture. And every now and then our students give us gifts. And one of our students, Chelsea Blake, has delivered a grand gift box to us. And Pope, have you already pilfered that?
Well,
Because I know there's a lot of good stuff in there.
well, yeah. She made a comment and said something about me looking at it, and we were going to fight over it. And so I had to take me a peek.
That's
And,
all you did all week, all the last 2 days was pilfer that, huh?
I didn't take anything out, but I did kind of made me a plan. So
I hadn't got to look through it. What's in there?
So I don't know. I think all four of us are
Yeah.
gonna have to
Now, what is that?
fight over some of this. Well, now hold on. Be patient here.
That looks like some pre-World War II Japanese box.
Lens cloth?
Yeah. Does look like it was made by the Japanese.
All right.
Hooch bottle? Dang hooch bottle?
Huh?
Is that original Dr. NUFF bottle?
It's Dr. McLean's.
There you go.
Is that a cork? Is that a cork bottle?
What's the real? Oh
So
yeah.
it ain't got no threads on it.
Dr. McLean's strengthening cordial and blood purifier.
That's old.
Ain't that clean blood, boy?
All right.
Did you look up when that's from, Chili?
No.
Somebody on YouTube, look up when that was around. What's it called, Chili?
Dr. McLean's strengthening cordial and blood purifier.
Somebody on YouTube look that up. Let's see how old that bottle
Now,
is.
I want all this stuff, so we're gonna, you just gonna have to lay claim to some
Is
of
there
it.
something in the blanket?
Oh yeah, there's a lot in the blanket. Now I think Corn's gonna want this bottle. I think we'll see. I got this little bottle too. Now I like me blue stuff.
Yeah, that one's not quite as old though. See, it's got the threaded cap.
This is genuine, made in USA. Bottle.
Okay, but that's not quite as old.
Well, you know.
Let me know if somebody from YouTube comes back with any information on McLean's strengthening blood thinner.
We got this old police patch
Is that where she polices?
from Kilmarnock, Virginia.
Might be up around there.
Kilmarnock.
I like that.
Oh, I like it too. Now here's interesting
Now,
too.
is that wrapped in a goat skin?
Well, you tell me.
That's what I was about to
You're
say.
the goat expert.
That's a goat
This ain't no
skin.
deer.
Terry Bell said 1860 to 1906 on that bottle.
Son.
No
smokes,
kidding. I knew it was old because it's a
Thank
quart
you,
bottle.
Terry.
Who was that, Blake?
Terry Bell.
Terry, thank you, brother. All right, that's a goat skin.
That's nice.
That's a pelt.
All right, so you can make a vest out of that.
Now, wrapped up in that goat skin.
I didn't know of those.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
I didn't know of those.
that's what was wrapped in the goat skin.
we've got 2 books here. We've got The Call of the Wild by Jack London. And there's a copyright date in here. Let's see. Hold on.
That's an old book, man.
You could put that goat hide around shaky legs.
Copyright 1903.
Okay. The Call of the Wild. Has anybody ever read that?
Oh, I have.
That's a popular book.
Yeah. Got the OG copy. And this here, I couldn't find a copyright date, but it is by Thomas Kempis. What's it actually called? The Imitation of Christ.
Is that a Mormon book?
No. A Mormon book? I don't think so.
You know that book people keep sending us?
That's called the Book of Mormon, isn't it?
No.
Well, yeah, they have the Book
No,
of
it's
Mormon,
by
Pearls
the-
of Great Price, but
it's
people
by
keep
some
sending
woman.
you Ellen G. White, Seventh-day Adventist.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what they send you a lot.
Okay. What is that called?
Oh, I don't know. Something about the end times from Ellen G. White.
Yeah.
That's not this.
Okay. The Imitations of Christ.
Yep.
Okay, that's pretty cool, man. Are you gonna read that, Chill?
Well, yeah, I've never read that book. I
haven't
need
either.
to. I've read Call of the Wild. You need to read that.
Okay.
You read a whole book?
Chili just kind of skims over books.
Yeah.
Well, if I say I read it, that's not to imply that I read the full thing. I have read pieces of it.
That is a nice tanned goat skin.
It is.
It really is. Well, and it's all wrapped up in
Yeah, that's called a schmog.
shawl.
Schmog.
Shawl. Now, you know more about this, Chad. What is this?
That is a megalodon shark's tooth. That's what that is. Yep. And
I
That's-
may just be taking all this back to the
That-
Vatican
that's
West.
actually-
No, ain't.
that shark's tooth right there is probably worth somewhere between $400 and $600. All right, those are very rare.
Well, if that's true, Chelsea don't need to be giving us this gift, man. What in the world?
Those are very rare. I've only found, well, actually, I've never found one of those in my life, but I was with my wife when she found one. All right. Now, those are mostly laying in the bottoms of rivers. And the only one we've ever found was in Virginia, and we were hunting them. And so what we would do is we had built these screens, and we put floats on the side of the screen, so you could just have the screen floating right there beside you. And you take a shovel and you find an area that has gravel in it that's pieces of rock about the size of that tooth. And you shovel that gravel up off the bottom of the river into that screen. And, you know, 1 out of every 10,000 shovels of gravel, one of those will pop up.
Now, are they usually in that good of condition?
They're all different. I mean, that's an excellent example of one, but
Yeah.
yeah, you do find them quite often that are chipped or broken or
Yeah.
This one's
Something
got a
like
slight
that.
chip, but the tooth's serrated.
Yeah, it's
on
serrated.
The side.
Yeah.
That's from where he bit through a dragon skull.
Yeah. I mean, a megalodon was the only animal that could kill a dragon
Yeah.
back then. But yeah, that's a megalodon shark's tooth for real. I mean, that's actually a fossil. That's become hardened like stone. That's not the actual tooth. Somebody on YouTube, look up for me how old a megalodon shark's tooth is. All right? I want to see what science says about that. I'm sure it's wrong, but we'll see what the science books says about it.
Well, now we've got miscellaneous in this little box too. You think this is Japanese?
I mean, it looks it.
It does.
I have no evidence to back
It's like
it up.
something
Well,
the
you don't need
Japanese
evidence.
burn incense out of or something.
But in this Japanese box, we have lots of miscellaneous items. This is
That's a
appears to
clay
be
pipe.
some sort of a pipe.
That's a clay pipe. That's a Native American clay pipe.
What you doing with this pipe?
I ain't doing nothing with it. I bet Chelsea probably found that.
That's a tiny pipe, son.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. And this, I mean, look at this stuff, man. This is more fossilized
Yep, old fossilized shell.
paraphernalia. This, I can't figure that out.
That's a piece.
There's some arrowheads in here.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's some kind of piece. That's a base of an arrowhead, Chili. That one that you got in your hand, that's broken. No, the one that's broken. Look, that's the base.
Yeah, and it's
All right? No, that's the bottom of it. So turn it up right. Nope, other way. Now the arrowhead would be coming, the point would be facing up right now. And
If
that's
this
the
was-
base. Yeah, if that was complete, it's been the base has been broken off of it. Yeah, that would have been a big point.
Yeah.
People are saying that tooth's 1.5 to 25 million years old.
What?
25 million.
To 1.5 million.
Huh. That's a big
That's a big range.
That's a big
ain't it?
range.
Well, they thrived for a while. I mean,
Well,
you don't know.
Well, that's
like-
how I throw my ranges out. I say, well, it's somewhere between a day old and 8 billion days old.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I wonder if there's any megalodons left.
Well, there very well could be all kinds of stuff in the ocean that you ain't never gonna find. Well, there is. Not could be.
Yeah, so, I mean, what's the percentage of land mass on the Earth versus ocean?
Oh, what is it, like 70-30 about?
Yeah.
There's way more ocean than there is land mass.
Yeah, double.
Yeah. And let me go ahead and tell you, there's a bunch of crap in the ocean that ain't nobody seen or are gonna see.
You want to know what one of my favorite things is they say, though? They say, we know more about space than we do about the ocean. now
Well, that's an ignorant statement, isn't
well,
it?
now tell me how you know what you don't know about either one.
Yeah, that's-
Because that sentence implies that you know how much there is to know about both, and you know more about space than you do those. I mean, what? Anyway, moving on. This appears to be it is a bullet
yeah,
from a
it is.
musket.
That's Civil War era.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe hold it like this, Chili, because people's just looking at your fingernails.
Yeah, showcase that thing.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a Civil War era. I'll tell you what, that's a big old slug, man.
Yeah, Lord, yeah.
That's a big old slug.
Wonder what that hit.
I don't know. It hit something.
It sure did.
That's for sure. That one hit whatever.
Getting to the end here. Another arrowhead. And this all that's left in here, I gotta be gentle with it, but it's a lot of shark teeth that are also in very, very good condition.
Mm-hmm.
But now, when you find that, that's an extremely large shark tooth.
Oh, yeah, that's like a great white.
And then you hold it up next to that. That's hard to even process.
Oh, yeah, man. That
I
was
mean,
a
what are
big
we
fish.
dealing with here?
How'd you like to meet that fool in the water, son?
I mean, that was a
You know.
big fish.
Yeah.
Someone on here said 82 feet long
Oh, my
with a
God.
megalodon.
Yeah, that's a big fish, man.
Yeah.
I bet there's still some left.
Yeah, I don't know how you'd ever know.
The strange thing about those megalodon teeth is, too, where we found the one that we found, and they were fairly plentiful. In other words, we weren't the only one that found one up in there. I had a buddy that's found many of those, but all he did every day was go out there and dig that gravel. That's what he did every day. And that was about 100 miles inland in a freshwater river. Them rivers obviously used to been massive.
Yeah.
And you know, where we were digging, you could throw a rock across this river. I mean, you could wade across it in the summertime. But it was over 100 miles inland in this little shallow river. But yeah, they used to be massive.
you know, there's still bull sharks that come up in freshwater rivers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what's the biggest fish they say now? Whale shark?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Or sperm whale.
Well, how big is okay? How big is a blue whale? If they're saying that megalodon was an 82-foot.
Well, a whale's not a shark, though.
Well,
so
I know, but I'm for comparison is what I'm getting at, Bucko.
How big is YouTube? How big is a blue whale? So we have some reference.
But there's some more collection of those shark teeth. I don't want to overlook these small ones because they're actually pretty dang cool.
Those are nice. I'll bet you she found them somewhere inland. I bet she didn't find those on the coast.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now we also have this button. Now, I can't tell you nothing about this button. Then we'll move on to Chili's absolute favorite.
Yeah, look on the back. What's that? Waterbury or something?
It says Waterbury Button Co.
Yeah.
So
But I can't read this little
should be
engraving
some
here.
information out there on it somewhere.
There's a little engraving here. Can't read that.
I may allow it.
Now, if Corn looks at that button, he'll never forget it.
Oh, that's true. That may be what he takes, that button. Now, we got 5 coins here. This here's an NRA coin. I don't know how old it is. Maybe it's new. But it's got this Springfield World War I and II series. I don't know what it is. It's cool, though.
Blake would like that.
I love coinage. I'm a numismatics expert. And now this U.S. currency here. Look at that. Look at that. Indian head penny.
I ain't seen an Indian head penny in a long
year
time.
Is that?
Probably not early 1900s.
What are you laughing at, Blake?
Chili can't see nothing, Corn.
Well, this Indian head penny is 1898.
Dang.
I ain't never seen a coin from I ain't never held one in my hands.
I don't reckon there's any of those still in circulation.
Nah.
When,
What do you mean? No.
well, when I was a kid, man, you'd run across a wheat penny
Well, yeah.
every now and
wheat
then.
penny.
You'd run across a buffalo nickel
Well,
every now and then.
that right there is the daggum coolest thing. 1898 penny. This here's a buffalo nickel, just like you said.
Yep.
I love buffalo nickels.
I grew up in the 80s, and every now and then you'd run across one of them, a buffalo nickel.
He did. He grew up right in the 80s.
What's the date on that?
Now, I can't read that either. So we're going to have to get Corn to look at that.
This writing's some type of Latin.
Mm-hmm. E pluribus unum. Yeah, read the date on that, Corn. Now we move up to the quarter. 1908. Bam.
Does it just look like a regular quarter?
Well, no, man. You know Susan?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the old quarter.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
the ones Chili was hunting from the bank.
Huh?
Is that silver? Is that quarter got silver in
It is. It's all silver.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's pure silver.
Oh, yeah. Now, this right here is, too, and I'm talking about a lot of it. This is about as good of a condition coin you ever going to find from 1924. Got that Liberty, $1. Bam.
Lady Liberty. What's on the back of it? A hawk? What is that, a hawk?
Eagle, man.
Okay.
Raptor.
Well, Raven. That's a nice coin.
Yeah, it really is. It's beautiful. And the in God we trust on it, the U for trust is a V.
Really?
Ain't that wild?
Masons. The Masons did that.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's Freemasonry imagery all over all of our currency, old and new.
Yeah.
All over all of it.
So what is this? What is the Freemasons, man? What do y'all know about that?
Anyone I've ever talked to, they won't tell you nothing that is an actual Mason.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know George Washington was a Mason. Does anybody know anything about the Freemasons? Because it is odd that all that imagery is on our currency.
Yeah, it's odd. Well, that's because all of our founding fathers were Freemasons. Now, it's to me, it's odd that they all were that, and people continue to be. I mean, I don't know what that's all about, really. I know some little history of it. I mean, it was an England thing brought over, and I think partly born out of the Renaissance, and I don't know. The origins of it to me are hard to find. But
What's a mason?
well, I mean, there's brick masons,
Yeah.
like bricklayers. And
Yeah, like a stone worker.
Yeah,
Is that what it's talking about?
masonry is a trade,
Yeah.
But then Freemasons, it's really has nothing to do with that. Maybe it started that way. The Freemasons started out of a society of stone layers. I don't know, but I shouldn't speculate because I don't know. But I just know that Freemasons, it's like a society, an order, if you will, and there's a lot of people that connect all kinds of things that predate it, that precede it or succeed it, and connect them to all of these societies like Illuminati and and I mean there's all kinds of societies in the U.S. and Skull and Bones and I don't know how you find out much about it.
So we don't know what it is then.
I mean, a bunch of presidents in Skull and Bones, right? The Bushes and.
I didn't even know about that.
Oh, Lord, yeah. You got to go out to Bohemian Grove, man.
Is that what that was?
What, Bohemian Grove?
Yeah. Was they tied in with these societies? Because
Yeah.
they were basic. Weren't they like they had some effigy of a baby or something, and they were
An owl.
Yeah, they were sacrificing it to some god.
Yeah,
or
the
something.
owl.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was typically the effigy of a child, I believe, and then they would sacrifice it to an owl.
Yeah.
Yeah, huge wooden owl.
And that's
Molech.
Molech.
Who was doing that? They was killing a baby.
You don't know about this, Corn?
An owl, a wooden owl.
Well, now I'll sit here and talk about it if you don't know about it, Corn.
You ain't heard about this for real? This
George
guy,
W. Bush did that.
Well, I'll sit here and talk about this then if you don't know about it.
he caught it on film, didn't he?
Well, look, Bohemian Grove is a place out in California, in the middle of the woods, and that's just literally just a place. There's buildings on it, cabins, some lodging, and it's still kind of speculation on what it actually is or was ever intended to be. It's less speculation on what it became, but what it was potentially started as was just an outdoor. I mean, I think you could go hunt there, just whatever. And Mark Twain had something to do with it. I mean, it was just a
All
place.
the rich and famous.
Yeah, a place.
Like a gentleman's club.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, a
Outdoorsy.
little odd, but whatever. It was, and then essentially through Mark Twain, I think more rich and famous people started to go there, and then it became a heavily politician attended place. I think that's right. I don't think it was started as that. I think it became that.
Right.
And once they started rolling in there, the Republican consortium and Democratic consortiums, both, it really wasn't a single partisan thing. It was a bipartisan thing. It was world leaders and actors, famous people would go, and they would have meetings there, and they would have yearly events there, and it was some place you could go all the time. And they essentially had members, because there was a big place that, like, when you had to go in, that you'd have to be a member to get in, and whatever that looked like, they'd let you in. And like I said, it was I think Clint Eastwood and like actors like that would go. And I don't know if anybody's ever, all you YouTube heads, go ahead and explore on YouTube the Nixon tapes and the recordings from Richard Nixon and Lyndon B. Johnson too. There's Lyndon B. Johnson tapes too. Everyone overlooks those, and they would go, and there's a clip of Richard Nixon talking on the Nixon tapes where he talks about he doesn't like to go to Bohemian Grove because there's a bunch of pinkies up homos there. I mean, the Nixon tapes are great, man. And he literally says something like that on the tapes. I won't quote it, but And so all these politicians go there, and the reason this is known is people have snuck in. Alex Jones has snuck in. Other independent filmmakers have snuck in. And they have literally got video of these people there, all those people I named, including the Bushes would go. I don't know who all, and they would literally get together and have ceremonies where they would chant and do like these Gregorian type chants, and then they would take an effigy of a child, so it would be like made out of sticks or something, and they would go throw that into the fire and burn it to this big statue that they had of Molech, the owl god.
Yeah, so Molech is
it's like Baal,
mentioned,
a Canaanite.
Yeah,
thing.
is mentioned in the Bible.
Correct. It's a Canaanite thing. Correct.
In the book of Leviticus, Molech was associated
It wasn't
with
an
child sacrifice.
Yes, but it wasn't an owl though. I don't think in the Bible.
It's a Canaanite god.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
A bull-headed idol.
Yeah, it was a bullhead. That's what I thought.
Bull-headed idol with outstretched hands over the fire.
For some reason, theirs didn't look like that. But anyway. Yeah, that's real, man. That's what you politicians that Chad was railing against.
I didn't know nothing about that mess.
It's crazy,
Yeah,
man.
That really is going on.
Well, there's also
Like, still going on.
Well, I don't know if it's still going on, but it was going on.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting when you try to Google Earth over Bohemian Grove too. I mean, you can't see anything. It's
Bunch of
like,
X's.
yeah, yeah, you can't. But yeah, anyway, it's interesting place. Interesting stuff happened there. Lord knows what happened there. I mean, I think a lot of blackmail went on, kind of like some islands. A lot of people would go there and get.
Engage in homosexual activities and all this.
Pinkies up homos, yeah. And Lord knows what kind of illicit activity. That's definitely what it became. And it was all your celebrities and politicians that would attend it and had been seen there. So I don't think much actual, because it's all these leaders and important people, right? I don't think much actual policy was going on there, much meetings. I think it was to get away from all that and hopefully in secret do all this freaking crazy, horrific crap. So that's what I think it was. Pretty much proven to be that. So, but also, even aside from just going and doing illicit activities, what are you worshiping out there? I mean, that's who you got. That's who's running the country. They out there worshiping a statue of an owl and burning wooden children to it.
I've told y'all before on the daggone YouTube channel that all of these powerful people and politicians throughout all history and even in up to today are being controlled by demons. I've told y'all that before, man. So of course they worship them.
Yeah.
Of course they do. There's no other explanation for the evil that these people are responsible for. They are being controlled by demons, whether they know it's happening or not. I think some of them know it's happening, and some of them actually worship these beings. Some of them don't even know it's happening.
Right.
They just get mixed up in it. And before they know it, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Well, and two, there's, like I said, there's multiple things that have, it ain't like this is just completely made up, even if you thought the videos were made up. I mean, like Nixon would talk about it on the Nixon tapes. And David Gergen he was like a political analyst for CNN, I think, at the end of his career. But he worked in administrations for like Clinton, Reagan, Gerald Ford, Nixon. And he was asked about attending Bohemian Grove. And when he was asked, he about killed he
got mad about it.
He got slapped mad.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, didn't deny that he talked about being, he said, yes, I'm a happy, committed member of Bohemian Grove, but I can't talk about that, So no, it's not it's a secret, but it ain't, it's definitely going on. They'll tell you that. So odd, man.
Yeah, y'all jokers, man. Y'all are all confused about how things are going the way they're going and how things are happening the way they're happening. Y'all don't got the full picture, man. So many of y'all are trying to look at what's going on in the world, and you're trying to make sense of it.
Well, you watch the Senate hearings on the news
Yeah.
that you say you don't trust.
Yeah, you're trying to make logical sense of what's happening. You cannot understand what is happening unless you put the spiritual matters at the forefront of what is driving all of this. You just can't. You'll never make freaking sense of it, man.
True.
But when you put when you start with the knowledge that Satan himself is the prince of this earth, that he is manipulating and moving pieces. This earth, the air here, it has become at least for now, his dominion. And he is doing all of this. And the Bible talks about when Satan was cast out of heaven, that I think 1/3 of the host of angels went with him. And the host of angels that God created are innumerable, but 1/3 of them went with him. And that is these demonic entities that we are speaking of. It's a structured kingdom. See, all Satan does is he takes everything that he saw God do and he tries to replicate it. That's why in the book of Revelations you see this figure that is the Antichrist being wounded in the head and basically dying and coming back to life, being resurrected. Everything that Satan does is just a marred copy of something God has already done. And y'all don't believe this way. You don't understand. You don't take these things into consideration that this is what is happening. And why is Satan so heavily involved in government? Because Satan wants to kill you. That's his ultimate objective, is to kill you. That's what he wants to do. Every single human being, he wants to kill them. Because we are image bearers of the Creator, right? So it makes his day when he can kill one of us, especially an unbeliever, because then there's no chance for that person to ever know Christ. Who can kill you and get away with it? Who? The government.
Well, yeah.
The government. The government can kill you and get away with it. That's why he operates so heavily in government. Because if we just wanted to start a little organization and decide we wanted to start persecuting some specific group of people, like Christians or any other group of people, well, we would be deemed as criminals. The government can demonize anybody they want to and go after them and kill them. And who holds the government accountable? Nobody. That's why he works and operates so heavily in government. That's why he is controlling and manipulating and literally possessing these leaders. And he can wield so much of his power through them because they have the power to execute his plan. That's why Satan's plan is to create a one-world government. I told y'all before on the podcast, that's not God's plan. Because God knows that any consolidation of humans, any consolidation of government is going to do bad things, because the humans who make up the government are inherently evil. And that's why at the Tower of Babel, God split that government. That was a body of government that essentially made it their endeavor to control the entire earth and all the population thereof. And that's why he cast them to all the corners of the earth and change their language. It was to deconsolidate power from the hands of human beings who are susceptible to evil and manipulation by the evil one. But that's why Satan is driving and will ultimately achieve a consolidation of power under the banner of a one world government. Because then they have the ultimate and total power and can kill anyone who doesn't go along with their agenda. This is happening.
Well, yeah, it's happening. It's also why every political agenda that is thrown out is it achieves two goals. It consolidates power and it kills you. Look at every hot button issue and everything that's pushed. Abortion. That is to kill you. The purpose of that is to kill you. It's not to give women the right to choose. It's to kill you. What is the climate agenda for? And controlling carbon and killing all of the cattle because they produce methane and heat the earth up and go vegan and whatever else. It's to kill you.
Same with pharmaceuticals.
What is the push of pharmaceuticals for? It's to kill you.
Yeah.
It's literally what it's all for. Everything you could possibly dream up that is pushed and is why is war accelerated, and it's to kill you.
to kill you.
Why is your guns and ammunition taken away? It's to kill you. And to take power from you and consolidate it into a centralized government. That is, and if you don't look at everything that is pushed through those lens, I think you'll miss the picture. You'll miss the big picture. Like, oh, it's because they want this. No, it's to kill you and lead to a centralized government. That's it.
Yep.
Anything else is kind of just a side thing. Yeah, it's for their own power and money, but that's where people miss it, in my opinion. It's beyond greed. Like, these politicians don't want to get rich, man. They want to kill you and create a centralized government. They're beyond
that deep.
They're beyond the rich thing, man. They don't care.
Yep.
Really, they don't. I mean, Bill Gates is not a politician, but he's got 18,000 billion trillion dollars. He don't freaking care, man. Yeah, they always want more money. He wants to kill you and accomplish this task.
Yep. And that's why so many of these men have worked towards agendas that will never be accomplished in their lifetime, and they know it.
You remember
but
when we
they're
talked about
being driven to do it anyways.
Yeah, we talked about that years ago. Why, like, they're working towards something that they'll never see. So if you still operate under the lens of it's only personal gain, you'll miss it, man. It ain't. It would be better for us if it was all that, because then it would be less organized and chaotic, and you could potentially stop them. That's why it's a slow burn that continues to move towards this goal, because they're not self-interested as you think.
Yeah. Yeah, they're being driven by the prince of the power of the air.
Yep.
Whose ultimate goal is to kill you and every other thing that has been created by God and that God the Father loves.
But what's funny, too, is like when you don't operate that way, that's not the Bible tells you that. That's not us telling you that. I mean, it states that's what the goal is.
Yeah.
So but we think like, oh, well, it's not that. They're just, it can't be that. People are trying to do this. And no, I mean, it tells you that's what the goal is.
Our view of issues becomes so shallow.
Yeah.
Our view of issues becomes so carnal.
Yeah.
You know, we can't help but slip into those perspectives to where we can only see things through a carnal lens, because this life is the only thing that's tangible to us, right?
Yeah, and the political thing, when politicians say what you don't want them to say, generally we just say, oh, well, they're liars. They're no good. But then when a politician says what you want them to say, then you love them and throw everything behind them, money behind them, support behind them. Well, why do you just you think they're not lying ever because you like some of what they say? Like, that's your reasoning? You don't think they're going to lie? You don't think they may be lying to you because they know what you want to hear? Maybe not, but seems Seems to kind of be that way.
You got anything on this corn?
Soaking it in, brother. Soaking it in.
Well, we've been trying to tell y'all about this stuff, man. This ain't the first time y'all heard this. Yeah, my truck talk yesterday was all about Romans chapter 1. If y'all, again, it leads to this conversation we're having about how everybody's confused about how things are getting so daggone evil, like on a global scale. My truck talk was specifically about why so many people are mentally ill, like what's going on with that. It's all in Romans chapter 1, starting in verse 22. The Bible says, professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and they changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to the corruptible man, and of birds and of four-footed beasts and creeping things. This is the Molech that we were talking about earlier. So, God also gave them, all of these folks around here, up to uncleanness, gave them up to uncleanness through the lusts of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, which is blessed forever. Amen. You guys should go and read through Romans chapter 1. And it also talks about in here how not only the people who are doing these things, whatever sort of wickedness there is, it's not only the people who are doing these things who will be held accountable and who are turned over to a reprobate mind, but it is also the people who are approving of the people who are doing these things. This is why it is so, y'all don't even understand how dangerous the whole mindset of live and let live is. Y'all don't understand how dangerous it is to approve of wickedness. Y'all don't understand it, man. It talks about this in verse 32, who knowing the judgment of God, in other words, those of us who know what is right and wrong, who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only those who do those same things, but also have pleasure in them that do them. That's what he's talking about here. He's saying, if you want to approve of people who choose to actively partake in wickedness, approve of other people or approve of yourself. Either way, if you want to approve of those things, you are going to suffer the same judgment that they are going to suffer for partaking in those things. Somebody said, oh, well, that doesn't sound like righteous judgment. No, you're complicit. You're complicit by approving of wickedness. That's like if Cornbread said, I'm going to go down here and murder this feller. And I'm like, oh, yeah, go for it, man. I'm complicit. I'm guilty for approving of that. So, those of you who have chosen to say, oh, you know what? If they want to freaking do their abortions, go ahead. You know, whatever. It's a free country. If them jokers want to be a fat piece of crap, go ahead. As a matter of fact, we approve of it. If them jokers right there want to go practice this sexual perversion in all these different forms, whatever. It's not affecting me. Go for it. You're complicit, man. So I just wanted to add that in there. What's up? What's up, Blake?
Just taking it in. You know.
Yeah, it's interesting too with some of that. Abortion is different because that's murder and we legislate murder. But some sexual sin, being fat, what all kinds of stuff that would fall into the category of like difficult to police, right? It's like how do you mandate that like from a government level of, you know, well, if you're fat, we're gonna like how do you stop that? How do you legislate that?
Well, first of all, we it's not the government's job to do that.
Well, I agree.
In
That's
the
what I'm
first
saying.
place.
You just don't want it to be encouraged.
Yeah, what we're responsible for is all of those things within the body of Christ.
That's what you were referencing then.
Yeah, within the body of Christ.
Exactly.
But also we're not also approving of those things
Right.
outside the body of Christ either.
Right. Yeah.
We're saying, no, that's screwed up. And I don't care what you say, that's still screwed up.
Yeah.
But we don't do that anymore.
Yep.
No.
Not on any level. No.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore.
People's too comfortable. They don't want their comfortability taken away from them. They don't want to be confrontational. They don't want to appear confrontational. You know, very few people can have a logical conversation and say exactly what they think or believe without getting into an argument.
Exactly.
I've done it before. A lot of people do it. You walk into a situation like that prepared to defend other than just state the truth and not cast pearls to somebody that ain't going to deal with it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Say the truth. Say no. Instead of arguing.
Yeah.
You might have to argue, though. You don't need to be passive. You might have to say, no, you're not hearing exactly what I'm saying. You may have to be stern and appear as if you're arguing. Like, I need you to understand what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Like, don't bring that junk around me. I'm not partaking in it, period.
Well,
it's not, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, yeah, I could.
Dude, I'm going to tell you, it's hard when you got somebody in your family who is homosexual or something, because you can appear to be saying, hey, I'm cool with it. If it's okay to come, you can come to the house.
Yeah.
That don't mean that you have to agree with that lifestyle at all, but you still have to love them regardless.
Yeah.
Period. So there's a line there that I think people don't even know how to deal with. And
Yeah.
Me too. Sometimes,
100%.
you know.
Yeah, people don't know how to deal with that, and that's
Both sides.
Yeah. It's and yeah, that was something that I mentioned. It's like this isn't a call to persecute these people who are actively partaking in these destructive and wicked lifestyles.
Well, if it is, then you better be ready to persecute yourself
everyone's
too for all
guilty.
of your sin. I mean,
exactly.
it's all of it.
yeah, everyone is guilty.
Right.
Although I do make a case that when we look at specific examples where someone is making a choice to live a certain way or do a certain thing on a daily basis and act like it's right. Like everyone is guilty. But when you are choosing to live a certain way every single day and act like it's right, and expect everyone else around you to act like it's right, that's where we get screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we get so daggone screwed up, man. So it's not a call to persecute people. But am I going to attend a homosexual marriage? Am I going to attend that ceremony? No. I'm not going to give it credence. I'm not going to attend it. Yeah, it's just that's kind of an example of like what it looks like. You know what I mean? Like, Am I going to?
Well, then do you go to the party they have a week later, and then do you let them come to your house and eat dinner? And that it's still difficult to navigate when you take that position. I mean, I don't know. It's like you don't want to participate in the.
I think any parts of a lifestyle that's giving credence to that.
Yeah.
Like acting as if it's legitimate or acting as if there's nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, am I going to have an alcoholic come to my house? Well, yeah, if you're an alcoholic, you can come to my house all you want. Am I going to have an alcoholic come to my house and sit there and drink in my living room?
Yeah.
No, I ain't going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't going to allow it to happen. Because I'm going to obviously say, hey, man, it's not right. You need, it's not right to not be sober.
Yeah.
So that's the way it looks to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. This is the hard conversations that we have on the 3 of 7 podcast.
Now we're about to work out this megalodon tooth, son.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna arm wrestle for it?
Oh.
No.
What are you talking about? What do you mean no?
Here on the podcast?
This is your grand opportunity to arm wrestle the daggum Pope.
And win the megalodon.
If you want to put the megalodon tooth up later on for a later on arm wrestling match, we can do that.
You don't think you could beat him?
Not today. Now, Chili won today. You won. You can hold the megalodon tooth
Bowser.
until the...
What the crap? Corn, you should be able to destroy that freaking string bean arm and arm wrestle, man.
You can't arm wrestle somebody in vestige.
Well, he'll take it off.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a disrespect to his vestige.
Now look here. I'm going to go ahead and tell you.
Chili's been training for arm wrestling.
I have been training
Don't sleep on
specifically for
Chili.
arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Well, he's trained for other things before, too.
Specifically.
It ain't all about how you look, man. Y'all ever seen a pronator muscle the size of a softball, son? Because I got one.
Well,
that's all I'll say.
Before we get out of here, I've been waiting on this hat for almost a year. And it's finally complete. And I'm going to tell you what. Chili was wearing this hat all weekend out on the basic course. And I said, Chili, where on earth did you get that hat from, man? He said, oh, yeah, man, Barbell, they finally got the design done. Yeah, we got a few of them in the office. And I'm like, what in the crap, dude? I've been waiting on this hat for almost a year.
I've had 2 of them for 3 weeks.
That is, Blake, what the crap, dude?
That's Blake's job, man.
I asked Blake this morning.
He just got one.
I was like, Blake, where did Chili get that boonie cover that he was wearing at the basic course off? Oh, yeah, they sent us those. You remember, Chad, when they sent you out all those test versions and you gave them your feedback and they came up with a boonie cover?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had those. And so here I've been. It's been done. The design has been perfected.
It's nice, man.
And I don't have one, but I have one now.
That daggum material was
Blake
nice.
was passing those out in accordance to time in the office.
Yeah.
And you just reached yours today.
Well, I'm sorry, friend. I'm sorry,
3
friend.
weeks. 3 weeks after you just reached it today. Congratulations on making time in the office a priority today.
I'm sorry. I've been out in the field training, my friend.
Nonetheless,
No, it's just total work time. He reached that after he was on the basic course.
There
It's
you
just
go.
work time, not in the office.
Well, I really like that hat. And the technical name, it's a boonie hat, right?
Boonie
That's
cover,
yeah,
yeah.
boonie.
But it really came out at perfect time because you want to. I like to wear these primarily when I need some shade, when it's hot out. They do keep you cooler.
Yeah.
And so, if y'all don't know, when I ran the Cocodona, if y'all ain't watched that documentary, you see I was wearing a boonie cover the whole time. That was to keep me in the shade. And I said, I reached out to Barbell and I said, hey, we got to make one of these specifically for being out, running, backpacking. We got to make it super light, breathable. I think there's a lot of things that we can improve. And we went back and forth, and they took everything and came up with this version of this 1 mile out boonie cover. And I highly, highly recommend it to you guys.
I wore the dang thing, and I've never owned a hat like that, and I wanted to wear it just to test it out. Keeps the rain off of you a little bit. The shade when it's sunny. It provides shade when it's sunny, and I love it. The material on that's sweet.
This actually has a detachable. This chin strap right here is detachable.
Yeah. Oh, I needed it too.
So is the patch. You can put your own patch.
Oh
on
yeah,
there
the
too.
patch comes off too. But look, when there ain't a lot of sun, you can fold it up like this and wear it like a safari hat. Y'all see how that works?
That's how.
That looks good.
That's how David wears his.
Oh yeah.
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 Or if you got to use it with your headphones, you can wear it just like that. But let me tell you, man, that's a good hat.
I like it a lot.
Barbell Apparel. Blake, will you put a link to this in the show notes of this video?
Yeah.
Look at Chad, man. His arms are deflating because he ain't been eating. I could beat him in arm wrestling right now.
Why ain't you been eating?
Dude, you could not beat me in arm wrestling.
100%.
I'll arm wrestle you
strike
right
up
now.
Right now on this table.
I'll arm wrestle you right now. Come over here.
So I'm about to engage this pronator on him. What you gonna do when I do that, huh?
My gosh. Yeah, I'll be the one to
that
say.
camera turned around.
I'll be the one to say go. Each one of you have to say ready, and then I'll say go. Blake, you're about to lose equipment.
Cornbread, make sure that camera's on us.
Now what's a legal grip here now?
You need me to move this camera behind you, Chili?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, we got good view there.
This is for the money.
Don't break that microphone, Chad.
This is for the money right here. You call me daggone skinny arms.
Chili, you a little high. You a little high. Your shoulders are as high as Chad's forehead.
Okay, well, I gotta get down on a knee here.
Yeah.
Get on a knee.
You don't call me skinny arms? I'm about to freaking crush you, dude.
Now what's even here, Corn? Huh?
It looks good.
right.
Getting
Each
worried.
one of you say ready, and then I'll say go.
All right,
I'm ready.
ready?
Bust them. Oh, Chili's getting some movement. Chili's getting some movement. Don't tear up the table.
I'll let him win.
Pope Chili, the victor.
I told you, son. I've been telling you about arm wrestling, son. You see that pronator muscle, huh? You see that?
I told you not to sleep on Chili.
I didn't feel like arm wrestling today, man. I didn't feel like arm wrestling.
Oh my gosh, how embarrassing is that? Yeah, son. What you talking about?
I didn't feel like arm.
Huh?
Wow. So.
You got to arm wrestle the daggum Pope, son. You just freaking lost.
Well, we'll do that again another day.
Yeah, we'll do that again. Go ahead.
We'll do that again another day.
I'll freaking
You
smack
look
your
good
head
doing
on the
it in that
table.
hat, though.
Well, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Man, that is embarrassing. You ain't gonna take that back, are you? Thank you,
live.
Chelsea Blake, for these coins.
That was live.
Blake, I'm gonna need you to edit that footage. I'm gonna need you to cut that out.
Ooh, I can't. It's live, man.
Corn really ain't gonna arm wrestle me now. We're gonna schedule that
I
for.
let him win, Corn. Don't worry about it, man.
Chili has been talking about arm wrestling for 6 months. That joker's probably got rubber bands set up at his place. I mean, just like this all evening long.
Oh yeah, I'm top rolling all day.
Yep. Well,
Somebody said that's the difference between a married man and a single man.
Hey, man,
You know.
my pronator and my supinator,
Uh-huh.
next level.
well, arm wrestling really only counts if you're best 2 out of 3.
That is how they do it. That really is how they do it.
I'll get back on that table anytime, bub.
That is really how they do it.
Yeah,
for real.
It only counts if it's best 2 out of 3.
Do they do them back to back, or do they?
Yeah, they do them back to back. You got to switch sides of the table, but the Pope's always ready.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
See what you got.
Wild again. This is 2 podcasts in a row that's been off the chisel.
He think he's trying to prove that he took it easy on
If
me.
he don't win this time,
Come on, dummy.
it's
The
going.
people are waiting. The thing is,
He could destroy
I'm
me.
over here arm wrestling, and I'm still trying to maintain my presence on the podcast.
He thinks what he thinks.
I'm ready.
Hold on. My vestige is all caught up. Now look, he's ready to cheat here. You see that? You gotta get even now. What's he doing?
Man, don't move my mic. I'm ready.
Ready.
Bust him. Chad come out hot this time.
Dang it, man. He's using his body weight, man.
He isn't doing anything illegal. There's a certain moment that he's doing something, and I've noticed it both times when the tide
He studied the form, man.
the tide turns just like this when he does it.
Well,
tell him.
Bull crap, man.
Now I will say if
Our cameras are all jacked up.
now that was oh man the crap I'm gonna talk to you. Now if you took it easy on the first time, that was a mistake to arm wrestle me again and take it easy again, because you done lost twice now.
I like how you got suckered into that whole thing.
It's your stinking
Like-
form, dude.
My form.
Yeah, you've studied
It's the
some
raw
kind of
power
form.
of this freaking pronator muscle, son.
Oh, man.
You can't overcome that.
That ain't what it is.
Okay.
He's been getting ready for this, for no joke, for 6 months.
I did a full arm wrestling workout yesterday and still came in here and beat you, son.
Well, I'm not happy about this.
I wasn't even,
I told y'all at the beginning of this podcast my day wasn't going to go very
I
good.
wasn't even fresh.
Look, he's got ED. You think he's gonna? I mean, do you got ED?
No, sir.
See,
Yeah, it ain't fair when you
There's
beat a man with low T, is
There's
it?
a certain thing he does. Once he does that, it's,
Did you watch me crack his wrist
Yeah.
on that?
yeah.
You just cracked it. Bam!
Both
It just
times.
both times. He's trying to fight. And he goes whack.
I wasn't going to say it. Once he cracks your wrist,
Oh, yeah.
it's done.
Yeah, there ain't no coming back from that.
And that's all he's trying to do at the beginning. He's not even trying to push your arm. He's just trying to get your wrist cracked.
They call me wrist breaker, son.
That's all he's trying to do.
They call me wrist breaking chili.
You've done spent so much energy trying to push him, and he ain't pushed none. He's just trying to get your wrist like that.
It's all about leverage. Yep. Well, it's about time to shut this unit down.
well, we had some super chats.
Good night, man.
We
What a podcast.
Stick your tail between your legs, son. Go home, pet them goats. You freaking idiot.
You got me.
And that goat hide.
You got me, Chill. Hey, you've beat me before.
All the time, anytime I want to.
Yeah, you've beat me before. It ain't the first time. I ain't happy about it.
well, we had little Virgil come in at $4.99.
Thank you. Thank you, little Virgil.
The Coin Bros Bitcoin.
Ooh.
Shannon and Corey
Heck
from the
yeah.
Proving Ground gave $20.
Lord,
Said,
yeah,
hey,
thank you.
and we love y'all.
Are they the Coin Bros?
Yeah.
What?
Well, they're not bros, but that's the name of his
Okay.
YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Little Virgil coming back in at $9.99.
Thank you, little Virgil.
Adrian coming in at $4.99 said little Virgil's bank account has a heart attack every Wednesday.
Dude, we need little Virgil to call in on the
100%.
podcast.
Yeah, that'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
awesome.
Little Virgil, you need to call in on the podcast, man.
Call the hotline.
And who was the last super chat?
Adrian.
Adrian, thank you, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
We got Mark Porter coming in at $9.99. Said a quick super chat to help your day out. Everyone's feet hurt.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
We got Willie Jenkins, $10.
Jenkins.
2 parts. A, is profanity in itself a sin? B, does a goofy phrase like frickin' crap sustain that sin even though the words are replaced? Not judging, I still cuss and feel 50% convicted and 50% not.
Well, I'll try not. Who was that?
Willie Jenkins.
Willie Jenkins. Yeah, I think that you probably, I think you probably ought not be cussing, because every one of them words is meant to say something bad about some situation or somebody, and you probably ought not to be using other words like freaking or dang or any of that stuff either, because they have the same implications as the actual curse words. All right? So the best thing to do is refrain from using any of that. And that is really, really being intentional about controlling your output, which is important. So that's my take on that.
T. Russell coming in at $5 said, thanks for ruining your day for us, Chad. Love you guys.
Thank you, T. Russell.
T. Russell.
Appreciate the kind words.
Rent Collector coming in at $2.79 Canadian dollars.
Rent collectors in
$2.79
He is
Canadian.
He is in Canada,
I
right?
didn't know that.
I think so. He said Chad for Warlord, Baby Blake for his bodyguard.
I like that, rent collector.
I'll be his wrist breaker.
Jay Leslie coming in at $5. God bless you and your family.
Thank you, Jay.
LV Little Virgil coming in at $9.99.
Thank you, little Virgil.
Healthy.
Little Virgil, when you gonna call into the show, man?
Call the hotline.
Rent Collector coming in at $2.79 in Canada again. Can Chad and Brooke do a range day? What is Biscuits EDC?
Oh yeah, that'd make a good film. We'll do that one day,
would.
rent collector. That's a good idea.
Daggum, that is a good idea.
Yeah.
Dave Da Silva coming in at £10.
Thank you, Dave. That's like $200 in American dollars.
Justin Milford. Y'all
Tin?
know him?
Man.
Who is that?
Tin Man coming in at $20. He said, everything I do is calculated. I forgot my pad, bowl, and utensils all on purpose. I wanted to see how much I could burden the team and still be successful. Thank y'all for keeping me alive.
I appreciate that, Tim, man.
He said he was still
Wonder what
cold.
Tin Man
Well, I'll
thinks
tell you
about
Ti-
that pike.
I don't know, man. What do you think about this stuff, Tin Man?
Tim, man, everything you do is intentional. I get it, man.
Well, I'll tell you, too, real quick, all that talk about Tin Man getting cold, he was a fantastic teammate, man. He was part of their success on Sunday.
Yeah, he was big time.
Yep.
Big time.
Well, that's fine. We've had a student forget all his food, so.
Yep.
Sonny Boy coming in at $9.99. Look up Albert Pike letter to Mazzini. Mazzini. You know about that, Chili?
Well, Albert Pike, I don't know nothing about that. Letter to Mazzini.
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 Yeah,
Well,
Check that out.
Yeah, I
it
will.
Willie Jenkins coming back in at $5. Shout out to Jason Burmis.
Roger that.
All right, Burmis.
Thank you, Willie. Jason Burmis.
Willie Jenkins sounds like he plays a dope role. I wonder if he knows Curtis Lowe.
Yeah. Probably.
You know Curtis Blow?
I know of him.
Me too.
James Dickey coming in at $9.99. Best podcast on YouTube. Keep preaching the truth. Headed to Kentucky this weekend to walk through Noah's Ark and the Creation Museum.
Awesome.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you,
I'll be wearing
James.
my Tree of Liberty shirt to represent.
Thank you, brother.
Awesome. Where is that? Cincinnati? He said
south-
Kentucky.
It's Kentucky. It's just south
Oh,
of
okay.
Cincinnati. Derek Carswell, $5. Do you think Satan tries to portray himself as Jesus in today's world? Satan was the light according to the Bible, and Jesus tells us that he is the light.
Well, does Satan try to portray himself as a false Messiah or a false Christ? Yeah, definitely.
Chelsea Blake coming in at $9.99. She said the shark's teeth and the Meg are from the Rappahannock River.
Yep.
Wow.
The coins were found metal detecting along with the Civil War bullet.
God, I love metal detecting.
Found the bottles in old farmhouse trash piles. The arrowheads are field fine.
Well,
That's
dang.
awesome.
Thank you, Chelsea, for giving context to all this, too.
Yeah.
She showed out with that stuff. That's awesome.
She
Yeah.
made the show big, man.
Yeah.
She made the show big.
Tomp, the Open Mind Podcast, gave $19.99. The Burger King hat, nice. And this is why we the people matter. We can't let them control us. In God we trust. Love you guys. Keep up the good work.
Thank you,
Sir.
Tom.
Tomp.
The Gatekeeper, PVVQ, $4.99. Looking forward to the next Resurrected. I'd like to share a word with y'all then, if possible.
Yeah, chime in, Gatekeeper.
Sean Wright coming in at 10 pounds. I'm going for a workout here. Here's some hard-earned pounds. God bless y'all. P.S. Chili is a turd for stopping international shipping.
Ah!
Well, you should have got in on that, Sean, right at the beginning. You had a little window there. You may
Yeah.
have another window here soon, but it'll probably be a window. So
Sean, go look at my YouTube channel, man. Chad Wright 278. I just posted a challenge for you guys on there today.
oh yeah,
Or
if
no,
you're-
yesterday.
you're headed to the gym.
Look at the top video.
Tomp coming in at $4.99. You inspired me to get back to my 20-mile jog every weekend.
I love it, Tom.
Yeah.
Good work, man.
T. Russell coming in at $20. God bless y'all. Thank you for everything you do. Look forward to training with you in August.
Thank you, T. Russell.
Looking forward to it.
Adrian coming in at $1.99. He gonna give you crap for the rest of his life.
Yeah, you're probably right, Adrian, until I beat him in arm wrestle.
Wrist breaker.
Sheldon Hoyt coming in at $10. What's up, little Virgil? Semper Fi, Chad.
Thank you, Sheldon.
Muscled Up Runner Greer coming in at $9.99. Great podcast. God bless y'all.
The Muscled Up Runner did my challenge.
He did too. Did he beat you?
No, he didn't beat me.
Oh, man.
He had a pretty good time.
He was right there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he posted on Instagram, and then he dropped his time in the comments, too. Let's see. He had, what was his time here? 2:49. I was 2:35.
249 is good.
Yeah.
That's fast for 50 burpees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Caleb Judge coming in at $10. The hero has fallen.
Thank you, Caleb.
They always do.
Artie Rowe coming in at $10. Love y'all. Look forward to Resurrected.
Thank you, Artie.
And the last one is Sean Wright coming in at 2 pounds. Said he just ordered the boonie.
Awesome.
Oh, well, and Clock and Floyd just come in. Clock and Floor,
Thank you, Sean. Clock and floor.
$19.99.
God.
Anoint to do a 48-mile hike. Me with friend for first time. 12-mile PR. Any tips?
48-mile hike.
He's went 30 before.
He's went 12.
Oh.
And you want to go 48 miles? You better be patient, man. Just keep moving. Constant forward motion. That's my tips.
Eat and drink.
If
Yeah.
you don't do it, come out and do a ROP course with us, and then I'll show you how to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul Grogan coming in at $5. Thank you for the fellowship today, boys.
Thank you, Paul. Thanks for
Paul.
being here, man. All right, we love you guys. Little Virgil, you need to call into the show, man.
Call the hotline.
Hit us up. Let us know what your daggone number is or something like that. I need to hear from you. All right, love you guys. Enough said.